What's going on, everybody, and welcome to a very brief and impromptu episode of The Audition with your boy, the Sebastian Alexander Bonet. I am your boy, the Sebastian Alexander Bonet. So make sure you subscribe, make sure you follow me and all this good stuff. This will be a very brief episode. I've been thinking about some things and trying to get some things, not together, but, the purpose of this video is that, I love pageantry. And I've competed in a few pageants, but one thing that kind of boggles my mind that people fail to prepare on, and that is question and answer. Alright, so, most pageants have a question and answer. If you make the top 5, you have to answer a question. Most times the questions are not that deep. They are not going to ask you about, how do you feel about the president's agenda in Afghanistan, or how do you feel about the new pope being elected or the old pope resigning. It's nothing that deep because unfortunately, oftentimes in our community, in the pageant community, they're not just that deep. And I mean, this is just my opinion. I could be wrong, but the ones I know are just, not that deep. So, they normally ask you questions based off of, things that are going on within the community or based off of your interview. If that pageant particularly has an interview, they ask you questions from things that you have said. So, one, if you say something in interview, be able to back it up. Be able to provide proof, or not proof, but back up whatever you're saying. Yeah, proof. Be able to articulate whatever you said in an interview. Don't tell them what you think they want to hear. Be honest, and because if you can be honest, you can definitely back up what you're saying. You can back up the emotion and the feelings and the knowledge of what you told them. But if you tell them something that you think they want to hear and they call you on it or ask you on it, you set yourself up. Case in point, I just did Black Continental at Large a few months ago. Damani Hall Dickerson, who is my grandfather, asked me a question. I did a pamphlet, if you will. I did a whole presentation about, my platform and what I could do for Black Continental, right? And in there was a brochure of all formers of every division of Black Continental. His question was, being that you put this platform, this brochure together, is it correct for me to assume that if I ask you anything from this brochure, that you can tell me, what it is or when they ran and all that good stuff? Now, of course, the good answer would be, yes, I can. But be ready for the follow-up question. If I would have said, yes, I can, knowing my grandfather, he would have asked me, well, give me the formers of 2004 and 2005. At that point, I would have been looking boo-boo in the face because I don't know who the formers of 2004 and 2005 is. So what my question was, my reply was, unfortunately, I cannot. Being that the systems, there are multiple systems and that they're so diverse with many different people, I would be lying to sit here to tell you that I could tell you who the formers were. And knowing you, Damani, your follow-up question will be to ask me, who are these particular formers? And he was like, you're absolutely correct. So, I was completely truthful. I know they wanted to hear that I knew everything on that sheet, but bitch, I did not. So, be truthful when it comes down to interview. Tell them something that you know you can defend, that you can elaborate on. Alright, so, we practice. For every category, we practice modeling, we practice how we're going to turn the gown, how we're going to, open our jacket for sportswear, all this good stuff, but it amazes me that we don't practice for question and answer. See, the thing about it is, for presentation, if you are allowed to speak and give a spiel or presentation speech, anybody can write that. I'm an excellent speaker and I love to use words and all that good stuff, but I can write you a sickening presentation speech. Big words and all, small words and all, and you will slay. But that's memorization. Anybody can do that. An elementary student can do that. I can give them something. They do that with Easter speeches, Christmas speeches. They get it, they memorize it, they recite it, good to go. But the true test comes when you get to question and answer. So you have this wonderful speech during presentation. You are articulate, you're reading, you're throwing shade, or whatever the case may be, and you're on it. But say, for instance, you make the top 5 by the grace of God. Now, they get to see how you speak on the spot. What you need to do, and this is my opinion because we have had people that have ran in several systems for 10, 12, 25 years, make the top 5 every time, but fuck it up during question and answer. It is what it is. Your clothes are on point, your fashions are the T, and this goes for male and female. You good. You good when it comes down to fashions. You good when it comes down to talent. And you're leading the pageant. But when you get to question and answer, you fuck it up. First and foremost, when it comes down to question and answer, listen to the question. Listen to the question. Listen to the question. Listen. If it's a 2-parter, that's one reason why they fuck y'all up. It's a 2-part question. Do your best to remember the second part. Even if you don't remember the second part, remember in your mind that this is a 2-part question. So if you only answer one part, your mind will say, okay, bitch, I don't remember what the second part is, but it's a 2-part question. Then you can go back and say, can you please give me the second part of the question? And answer the second. That's what one reason they fuck y'all up. Y'all get the question. Hopefully you're listening to the question, but you only answer one part of the question. Listen. Listen, listen, listen to the question. Once you get the question, don't be so quick to speak. Most pageants don't judge you until you open your mouth. Now, I'm not telling you to sit here for the next 5 minutes and think about what the fuck you're going to say, but at the same time, they ask you a question. Step back. Process. Think about what you're going to say. Don't be so quick. As soon as they stop speaking, you lift the mic to your hand. Not if you're not that kind of girl or boy. Now, some people can think quickly on their feet. Some people can process quickly, and that's fine. But for most of the ones that I've seen that can't, don't be so quick to speak. Think about it. Process it. Then, once you come up with, and it's almost like writing a paper. Remember when you were in elementary school, and middle school, high school, you had, it's called brainstorming. You had the overall center idea right here. And you had little lines and little bubbles, little clouds that came off from it that you wrote about. So if we're talking about chicken, how to cook a chicken. This is your main thing. How to cook a chicken. That's there. Then you have a little stem that comes up. You can fry it. You can bake it. You can grill it. You can barbecue it. You can boil it. And so now you have how to cook a chicken, but you have all these little things you can talk about. How to fry it. And once you get to frying it, okay, we're going to fry it. Now you have other little stems that come off. Okay, we can fry it, deep fry it on the stove. We can, what is it called, pan fry it in the oven. All these things you can talk about. This is how you elaborate whatever you're talking about. So that's what you should do. Think about it. Once you've thought it, so you've listened, you've thought, then you speak. Speak, don't try to speak like me. Don't try to speak like Damani. Don't try to speak like Yasmin. Speak like you, but answer the question. Don't try to be over-articulate, using big words that you clearly don't know how to use. That makes you look stupid. Do what's best for you. Do what's best for your vocabulary. You know, do what's best for you. They can't dock you because, you know, you sound, I don't want to say ghetto or ratchet. That just may be your vocabulary. You may be a product of that environment. That's fine. That's totally fine. That's you. That they're going to get that for the next 365 days of the year. So you might as well show them who you're going to be from get-go. But as long as you answer the question. Answer the question. So first, you're going to listen. You're going to process. You're going to think. then you're going to speak. Now, before you even get to this point on stage, while you are at home preparing, this is what I suggest. You have all of these friends, all of these family members, everybody that's helping you to get your package together. Don't sleep on question and answer. Don't. It will fuck you up. So this is what I tell people to do. I would like to teach a question and answer class. And it's not that hard. It's almost like improv, what we do in theater, thinking on the top of your head when people gives you something, learning how to go with it, you know. Or it's almost kind of like the art of reading. Reading, you know, when you're reading, you're thinking off the top of your head. You know what I'm saying? So when somebody says something, honey, you may throw a quick read back. That's improvisation. That's all reading is being quick on your tongue, thinking of something witty and funny to say when you read. That's all it is. You hear it, you process it, you speak it. That's all that reading is. So, what I suggest, and this is what works for me, and this is what I tell other people to do, especially if you have problems with question and answer. Have a question and answer party at your house. Get one of your good girlfriends, honey. A couple of them to come over. Then they write out questions. They write out the questions. Anything. How does a dog shit? Why does dog piss smell like ammonia? How do you fry a chicken? What is the purpose of fleeting before having sex? Just write on a whole, but some serious, some stupid, some fun. You know, why do you like going to the bathhouse? Why do you have orgies every Saturday and charge people to get in? You know, just write out a whole bunch of questions. Put them in a hat, put them in a bowl, put them in something. And all you're going to do, honey, is dip your hand in the hat. You read the question. For your consideration and your approval, I am contestant number 3, finalist number 4. In response to the question, what would I do to prevent painting the kids? First and foremost, I would know my body. I would know that I just had a full lunch and that this may not be the best time for me to partake in any sexual activity that involves penetration. But if he was adamant and knew the complete story that I had just eaten lunch, I would first go to CVS, Eckerd's, Walgreens, Walmart, or any drugstore that sells a fleet product. From there, I would go into the restroom, have my private alone time, and begin to clean my inner sanctum, if you will. I will clean it so well that when I walked, it whistled. So when he did what he was going to do, I would not be a painter, I would not be a Picasso. For your consideration and your approval for question and answer, I am your contestant number 3 and your finalist number 4. I am the Sebastian Alexander Bonet. The kid will clap, yes ma'am, but she answered the question, and you leave. And for me, I just thought of that off the top of my head, you know. Get a hat. Pull them out one by one. That's all you're doing is answering questions. Once you're getting used to get the nervousness out of the way of answering questions, it'll be a piece of cake on stage. This is one category that people just don't prepare for. You prepare for everything. You'll get fitted, you get beaten, you get stoned, you get hair, you get makeup. But no one says, okay, bitch, question and answer is my weakest fucking category. And if you're a prominent girl or boy that your clothes are always on point and you're going to make the top 10 or top 5, you know, for question and answer, you need to be prepared. Have a question and answer. But that's the easiest thing for me. In the process, maybe once a month. Once a month. If you have a dinner party or whatever, have your friends over, put the questions in the pot, put them in a hat, you just pull them out. Pull them out. Answer the question. Answer. What would you do to prevent war? What would you do if you started gagging on the dick? What would you do if somebody stole your or scratched your talent music? What would you do if, you know, how do you feel about? Just answer the question. And once you get that confidence about speaking in front of a public, speaking in front of a crowd, then, you know, you can do it. The scariest part, and I love speaking in front of a crowd. That does not bother me because I'm trained in that. I love talking in front of a crowd. But some folks, that utterly terrifies them. Public speaking terrifies a lot of people. You know how you get better? It's just like sex, bitch. The more you ride a dick, it might hurt the first time. Your pattern may not be right. But if you keep riding, you'll do better. You will do better. As you ride more, you'll do better more. You'll ride better. Now you got the swivel in your hips. You got the swivel in your hips. And you are a good dick rider. So, with all that said, practice makes perfect. Pull out the questions. Pull out the questions. Read the questions. Pull out the questions. Read the questions. Pull out the questions. Read the questions. Pull, read, pull, read, pull, read, pull, read, pull, read, bitch. No. So, with all that said, this is your boy, the Sebastian Alexander Bonet, just giving my tips on how to have a successful question and answer in a pageant. Hey, what do I know? You know, I've never won a title, but bitch, I can speak my ass off, so that has something to do with it. But I will holler at you later. Peace and much love. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of The Audition with your boy, the Sebastian Alexander Bonet. Make sure you follow me on Twitter, subscribe to me, and all that good stuff. And I'll see y'all at Sizzle 2013, the Magic City. Peace and much love. Ciao.